All right, so practice today. Moving on to Kentucky. We had meetings this morning, reviewed the game, and then moved on. And this is obviously a really good team we're playing. A lot of veteran players, especially the offensive line. These guys played really well last year and did some, lost the turnover Saturday, but did some really good things otherwise. So, we're going to have to play really well, and we're going to have to get better in the areas we didn't do well in. Obviously, defense and negative plays on offense. So, a lot of work to do.
Go ahead, David.
Lane, can you talk specifically about the challenges Kentucky presents heading into Saturday?
Well, I think they're very disciplined on defense. They don't do a lot of things, but they know what they're doing really well. Offensively, they run the ball really well, veteran offensive line. So, we're still in beginning phases of them, but that's what I seem to know so far.
Good at Parrish.
Lane, do you think your pass coverage problems on Saturday were more about things going on the back end or a lack of consistent pressure on Trask?
I think both. I mean, anytime you give up the numbers we gave up, it's not just one area. So we did not get very much rush, and we didn't cover that well. So that's not a good combination. That's how like I said during the game, I said this is how you end up with, a battle for the SEC Offensive Player of the Year between the quarterback and the tight end. But that was before Mississippi State had played, so that probably changed.
I'm assuming that the Otis Reese case is still ongoing, and would it be possible he could be available at some point during the year?
I do not know anything different on that. I was told we were supposed to have some more information today, so have not heard anything yet.
We heard a lot about Brandon Mack during camp and didn't see him in the game. Is he still progressing?
Yes, he had been injured and so was not at full strength.
Go ahead, Nate.
Coach, after getting to watch the film from Saturday, what do you see from Mack that you liked, and where can he make some improvements going into this week?
Well, I think he did a good job with his feet getting out of trouble. I think he was very composed, really good adjusting with him on the sidelines. Both quarterbacks were. But his feet are a little bit all over the place at times in the passing game, and so we got to clean that up because he was late on some balls that were really open that ended up being completed but could have been touchdowns.
David, go with your question.
Yeah, Lane, just curious on your thoughts on Kenny Yeboah, how he performed Saturday, and what you think his future is in your offense.
Yeah, he had a really good second half. Actually missed the block on a swing there that would have been a big play, number 51, but then came back, I think, 3 straight plays in a row, if I remember right. So that was good to see. He'd missed some time also with injury, so really good because, we're going to have other people because, now that we put what we did on film, we're going to get a lot of different coverages to Elijah.
Go ahead, Nick.
You talked after the game about the 4 for 8 in the red zone. On tape, did you see a recurring trend of what was going on down there, or were they all kind of different scenarios?
They were different, missed field goal, end of half, where the clock ran out. And so I just think we made a lot of explosive plays to get down there, and then we ran and had negative runs and got in bad situations.
Go ahead, Ben.
Lane, Mark Stoops said earlier today that the SEC presidents plan on voting soon regarding the possibility to allow in-conference transfers to lead to play. As it pertains to Otis Reese, that could obviously have an effect. Have you heard anything about that, and what are your thoughts on that? And potentially keep the effect immediately?
Yeah, I did not know that was public. That's why the previous question I said, that we were supposed to hear more today. But yeah, I guess since that's out there, I was told that vote, I believe, was happening today, and so I think we're supposed to find out, and that would obviously change things.
We'll go back to Parrish.
Lane, was the decision to go for the first down on the first drive there, was that being aggressive, or is there some uncertainty with your kicker?
No, that's analytics. The book said that. And whenever you follow the analytics, you're going to lean more towards going for things than what you're used to seeing or what you grew up watching. Just because that's what the analytics say. People don't really take in the value of 7 versus 3 and how big that is when it comes to the numbers. So a lot of times when you follow that, you end up going for it, more than what you're used to.
Go ahead, Nick.
Lane, I know you worked with Eddie Gran when you two were at Tennessee. Just what are your memories of working with him, and how impressed are you by what he's been able to do with this Kentucky offense in the last few years?
Yeah, Eddie's a great guy, great recruiter. I just remember hearing about it. I didn't really watch a ton of it, but last year I think when they didn't have the quarterbacks or all the injuries and stuff, and then being able to do what they did and running for 1,000,000 yards, basically wildcatish, really good. So glad he's doing well.
Go to Nate.
Lane, was the running back breakdown on Saturday about what you wanted? I think it's about 2-1 with Jerry on the snoop, and you had mentioned Henry Parrish was going to see some action. I don't remember seeing him, especially on offense, maybe at some special teams. Is that kind of what we're looking at?
Yeah, I think Henry would have probably got in there. He had missed a couple days last week with an injury, so he only played on special teams, but I would anticipate seeing him some on offense.
Go ahead, Parrish.
Lane, if you would, what were your thoughts on offensive line play for you guys?
Up and down. There's some really good stuff, some good protections on some deep balls. And in the run game, we left a lot of yards out there, whether it was, getting beat or not going to the right guys. It really cost us, especially in, we have a 3rd and 2 and a 3rd and 1 back-to-back drives, so it's 6 plays and out that we don't make the 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2 with some identification issues.
Go ahead, Nick.
Sheer curiosity, when was the last time you left Oxford with this first road trip coming up? Have you been cramped in here since camp started, pretty much?
Yeah, there ain't a lot of time in camp to go places, so I haven't since, I don't even remember, the summer, I guess.
Go ahead, Ben.
Lane, not to keep belaboring the point, but in regards to this vote and Otis and Reese's immediate eligibility, what was your initial impression of the rule that the SEC had in place about waiting, and just in general, just your thoughts about the difference there and how big it would be just for the conference and all?
Well, I don't think there should be a rule, and that's not for Otis. I just think in general. I mean, you have the rule, in place that you have to sit. But if you win an NCAA waiver, for things, I don't know why you wouldn't just then have to go over an SEC hurdle. That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I obviously know why it was, because people didn't want people transferring in conference. But that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be about the student athlete. And so if there's circumstances that a kid wins an NCAA waiver, the SEC, in my opinion, shouldn't be blocking that. And I just think it's because it was set in stone, years ago to block kids. So that's why they're reviewing it, because there's obviously people that feel the same.
Back at Nate.
Lane, just on the logistics of the first road trip, what sort of different measures have to be in place this year with COVID, and kind of what will that first week of travel look like for you guys?
Well, we have more buses than normal. I don't know what that's going to do, because then we're going to get on a plane and all sit by each other. So what good does that do? I have no idea, but it makes it look like we're doing something, I guess. So I don't understand it. And we're going to go on a plane and everybody's going to be right next to each other. And so it is what it is.
David, give our last question.
Burn some extra gas.
Yeah, Lane, after reviewing the film of Saturday's game, did you see anything on the defensive side of the ball that could be construed as a positive and left as something to build upon?
No. You don't break the SEC record for Florida's, who's had great offenses, and then they have the most in the history of the school. There ain't a lot of positive things to find there. So we did almost stop them on a 3rd down, but then we roughed the passer. So I was kind of excited there for a second.